So Gears 5 ranked. This is the topic that has been mostly requested on the community poll channel. If you ever want to get involved with some discussion, video suggestions, you can join the Discord, you can vote, stuff like that. Just before we begin, sorry if I'm looking a little bit rough and I'm sounding a little bit rough. I'm on antibiotics and it's making me feel quite groggy. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Gears 5. So let's jump into it. So Gears 5 ranked, this is the mode where, for me as a user, if I sit down and I think about myself as a user, I go, okay, I've installed this game, I've downloaded it from Game Pass, I've purchased it or wherever I've got it from. Okay, let's have a look. So I load up and I sort of decide in myself, like, what type of player am I going to be? Okay, am I going to be like, you know, Mr. Competitive, want to reach the top of the ladder, really want to improve? Or am I going to be just hop on, play a few games, I just want to play some humans, not really interested in reaching a rank, just want to play a little bit of Gears of War? There is also like a third option, which is kind of like the guy that wants to find his own skill out of intrigue. Maybe he's not interested in grinding the ladder, he just wants to see how he fares up against the competition. And then once he finds his rank, he might play a few games, and if the games are nice and tight and even and back and forth, he'll stick with it. He then might try quick play, and he'll probably compare the two experiences and decide, what do I want to play? Do I want to play in the quick play lobbies, or do I want to play in the even matchmaking? Let's decide, because one could be very sweaty, one could be quitters, it could be boring. So depending on the game you're playing, that's, I imagine, how most people would play. So they're going in, am I going to be super competitive? Am I just going to chill out and be casual? Or do I want to kind of find my skill, get a feel for both modes, and then choose? Now, for me, one of the main functions of a online multiplayer game, especially nowadays in 2020, 2021, as we've just entered into it, is people like to grind. Grinding is an aspect of, like, relentlessly doing something to unlock like a higher level of something, be this a character, a skin, a armor piece in a game, a rare item, or a rank. So we can all agree that when you think about ranked and when you go to play a ranked game, regardless of the franchise it's on, you're expecting yourself to commit a small amount of time or even a large amount of time to achieving your rank. But the one constant is you're expecting to put time into it. Okay, so we've decided that if you're going to play ranked, you're going to want to put some time into it. So the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, how much time is this going to take? Well, if it's an actual skill-based laddering system, this is infinite. It could take you the rest of your life to reach Masters. It could take you, let's say, there's like a minimum amount of games you have to play, and say you won them all, it might take you 100 games. So you can think to yourself, okay, if the minimum it's going to take me to reach that top rank, if I win all of my games, I'm a god, is like a month, and the other option is like infinite, I'm going to have to grind, improve, and practice, that could put people off. But the key factor of learning about the time that you have to put in is the game going to respect that level of time you're putting into it? So what I mean is, if I've decided, okay, we've got multiple ladder systems. We have example A, StarCraft 2, 1v1, you versus another player. If you win, you steal a few points. If you lose a few points. And you go up that ladder and you see a visual number. You don't particularly earn rank after a certain point. Once you reach the top of the level, you just keep ascending and getting points and points and points. But the top rank is Grandmaster. And you're like, okay, how long does it take me to get Grandmaster? Whew, this could take me years and years, decades of practice to become a Grandmaster StarCraft player. And even then, I might not make it. So why is that? The game is very, very difficult in of itself, but also the ladder is highly competitive. So everybody's trying. So you're against somebody, you're trying to get that victory. But also, the matches are very, very tight. You're not just going to fluke your way into a Grandmaster lobby. If you look at Apex, if you look at League of Legends, if you look at Counter-Strike, you can't really achieve the top rank without being a very, very good player. So what this means is when a player looks like say me, when they look at a game and they say, I'm ready to commit to become masters, for example, you can think, right, well, if I do commit that time and I do practice and I put the effort in, that game's going to reward me because I will be up there in that bracket where all the other people that haven't put the effort in, that haven't put the practice, that aren't quite as good, they can't reach it. And then a knock-on effect is everybody that is inside of that ladder system respects that position. They can say, wow, he reached masters up there. He is good. He is a solid player. And on top of that, the games become solid. You can go, wow, the masters games are so much different than mine. For example, if I was to tune into a StarCraft 2 Grandmaster video on YouTube and I was to watch two of the very best players play each other, it would look very, very different to, say, a gold or a silver level. The mistakes would be ironed out. Play would be different. The way people move and control things would be very, very different. Now, Gears of War looks to be that game. You can have a ranking system. You can be bronze and you can look up and you can say to them, oh, there's masters players. These must be very good. Now, for people that aren't heavily into the community and for people that don't follow the ladder sort of the way it works tightly, they will think this. They will say, I see it all the time on posts on the forum. I see it all the time on Reddit and Discord. People will say, I'm really pleased tonight I reached Onyx. I'm really pleased tonight I reached gold. I've been grinding and I've reached Onyx. Oh, I'm looking forward to getting to masters. It's my goal. And in a way, I feel sorry for them because what they're doing is they're comparing it to all the other laddering systems out there that work. And they're thinking that this applies to Gears. And unfortunately, it doesn't. When you look at a masters player in all of those other games, Apex, StarCraft, Counter-Strike, you've got your global elite rank, those players up there are very, very good. They will consistently and every single time basically beat the lower ranks. If you put an entire team of global elite Counter-Strike players against a team of, let's say, for the Gears reference, let's say gold leaguers, right? They will win every single time. However, Gears of War isn't like that, and I'll explain why it's not respected. You can reach masters through this method. So let's just switch here just to explain, and I can sort of explain why this thinking is wrong. So here the community manager responded to one of the reasons that I quit the game about the 2+2 ranked. They basically said Onyx can get matched within their bounds, which is -2 and +2. What this means is the rank. So you can be matched with -2 and above or below. This team gets matched with the Onyx players, and then obviously they can have silver players in the game, and they can also be against masters because they're within the Onyx bounds. This is to allow a difference to keep things flowing. So this is somebody involved in the community. They are paid, they are employed by TC to either give feedback, understand the system, or at least maybe if they don't fully understand the system, pass it to somebody that does understand the system and get a good answer. And the answer they've given back to the community is that this system is in place to keep things flowing. So that's the answer. The ranking system is in place to keep things flowing. Okay, here's why everything about that statement is wrong. Ranked isn't about keeping things flowing. That's quick play. Quick play is the mode where different skill levels of different players, they might have some hidden MMR, so it's not a complete stomp. So it might not be masters against bronzes, but there might be some hidden MMR, so it's roughly the same. Maybe there's some onyxes, some masters, some diamonds. It's roughly the same, okay? But the quick play is all about keeping it flowing. Ranked isn't. Ranked laddering in elo systems is about ladder integrity, and it's about respecting a player's time. People are willing to put time into a ladder system if they believe their improvement is going to be greeted with tougher, more balanced games. If TC actually have had any intention of growing the game and creating an esports that would naturally form off what would be a competitive ladder if people respected it and it was respected, then simply ranked had to change from launch day and it had to change from this stupid +2 -2 and work on an actual ladder system where a Masters game looks very, very different to a Gold League game. Right now, you can find people that are Diamond, Masters, Onyx that literally have no idea how to play the game or the game mode they're in. And that's not me being tough on them, that's just facts. A Masters player should be somebody like me, and I'm not even being big-headed. I know how to rotate. I win almost every game. I'm MVP every single lobby. And the people I face should also be like that. Then, when we get into a game, I should be playing incredibly sweaty games where everyone's rotating, everybody's controlling power weapons, people are finishing each other's downs off, people are spotting, and the games are tight and they're intense. And that would make me play more. Like, wow, I put the time in to become Masters. And some people might hate how sweaty it is, and if you hate it, you could go play quick play. But if you want that intense, high APM experience of rotate, flashbang, lancer, spot, and you're moving from point to point and everything's feeling like the synergy, your team's bouncing off each other because they all know what to do. Importantly, what a proper ladder system does is it teaches you along the way. Let's do an example. If you're playing League of Legends, there are objectives on the map. Now, as you get up the ladder, players will learn that these are important and you will begin to fight over them and then have big team fights over these objectives. If you were to play a bronze game, you could just walk up and take the dragon or take the objective on its own. If you were to be in a high level game, it would be contested. And because sometimes you might lose a game, like say you're laddering up to gold, and you're like, oh no, we lost that game because the enemy team had all the objectives. As you go along the ladder system, you learn things. Gears of War teaches you nothing. There is no difference between a gold lobby and a Masters lobby because the people that are in there haven't been taught the things. They haven't experienced the losses that cost them points. What I mean by this is, if the ladder system was highly respected, you would get to a point where Onyx players, to reach Masters, would have to begin to rotate early and rotate properly. Otherwise, they would start to consistently lose games because the people they're playing against would be beginning to rotate. This doesn't happen. This system is kind of like you can play for as long as you want, you barely lose any points, and as long as if you're sort of participating in a roundabout way, you might hang off the back of someone's coattails for a few wins, you might get the odd loss, and then also you can get a wide variety of matches. And let me explain. When you go in, you can play Masters players. So okay, you think, right, I'm playing Masters, this must be a good player. Let me explain how they could get Masters. Masters players can play Diamond and they can play Onyx players. So a Masters player could achieve Masters by playing Onyx players. Okay? And a Onyx player can achieve Onyx by playing Gold and Silver. Okay? So this Onyx player that this Masters player is now playing in the game is playing somebody that reached their rank by beating Silvers, who beat and got to Silver by basically turning on the game. So in a way, people who are Masters can reach Masters by playing people that have beaten other people that have just turned on the game, and that is not an exaggeration. That is ultimately why the ranking system does not work. Now, if you are to come out and say, well, we can't do a tighter matchmaking system because we don't have enough players, then I have to ask the question before he left, and I said it to him, I said it to him on Twitter. Dana was parading around how big Gears 5's player base numbers are and how people's speculations were wildly wrong. I generously speculated that this game has 50,000 players every single night playing. I also speculated 40,000, 30,000, 20,000 and 10,000. And each time, your numbers are way, way off. Somebody speculated 1,000. His number was also way, way off. So we can only glean from that was Dana telling us that they have over 60,000 players playing each night. So if that's the information we've got, there should be enough players to match people, and if that means queue times go up, that's what you have to do. It should be +1 rank above or below. There shouldn't be a +2 -2, and also the ranking system should go up. Now, I have heard from some people that play a lot of ranked that if you reach masters and you get 150,000 GP total, the game changes and you begin to play only sweaty stacks and sweaty players, and the games are very, very good. That's what a ladder system should be. Now, we can talk about the reason people hate the ranking system, such as myself, is there are stacks. So people can reach this upper rank, even if the system worked perfectly. Even if the system worked perfectly, you could stack up with 4 people and reach it and carry people. Stacks should not be in ranked. People will say, it's a team game. It's played in teams, so why can't I play as a team? Well, that's just the equivalent, isn't it? League of Legends has solo and duo queue. Now, if you want to argue, well, we don't have the player base of League of Legends, then what you should be doing is matching stacks against stacks in the same queue. So if you queue ranked King of the Hill and you have a 4-man stack, the only people you can find is another 4-man stack. That's it. That is what you're waiting for, because that's the only way it's fair. That's all it can be. Currently, the ranking system was basically the reason why it was one of the key deciding factors of why I uninstalled the game. You can reach masters by being, like we explained, somebody that kills brand new players. That's literally factual information. It sounds like I'm being facetious and over the top, but that's true. Remember, masters can reach masters by beating a team of Onyx players, and the Onyx players can have reached Onyx by beating silvers. And silver players, well, you basically get silver by playing the game, because you don't really lose GP. So what this has ended up doing is it's ended up giving out all of the master rewards to all of the people. So if you cared about the rewards, and we were told you can earn the Lancer, the shotgun, the pistol, the flag. Now, if you'd played all of the previous seasons and you'd unlocked them, that was like a little badge of honor. Hey, I've been playing this season and I've been playing Masters for a while and I've got my complete set. That's now gone. That has been given away to people that have fluked their way into Masters through, so let's say, 2v2 or TDM or, whatever the mode they've picked is. That's how they've got in there, and they've given away all of the skins. So for one, the rewards you receive for actually grinding the ladder are very, very poor. And that's okay, because there are other games like League of Legends that have very, very poor rewards, but at least their ladder system works. What you can't have is you can't have bad connections, you can't have uneven matchmaking, stacks versus no stacks, and you can't have a wide variety of ranks where nobody respects the rank of their player. If I, for example, again, I'm giving examples to help the team and people understand. If I go into a StarCraft game and I see for some reason I'm against a bronze opponent, my entire mentality switches, and I know I can get away with things that I couldn't previously get away with against a higher level player. If I load into a Gears 5 game and I'm in Masters, I don't think to myself, all right, let me sit up, let me focus, because we're going to be rotating early, we're going to be flashbanging, everybody's going to be sweating. The game feels exactly like Quick Match. There's such a variety of ranks in there that nobody respects the laddering system, and ultimately, like we said, if the laddering system isn't respected, nothing will ever come from it. Nobody will put time into it, nobody will take it seriously, and esports would not naturally form off it. What I mean by that is, if everybody was grinding ladder and your rank really, really meant something, let's say there was ranks above Masters and you could go higher and higher and higher, and the matchmaking got tighter and tighter and tighter, you could then stream and say, listen, I'm playing Masters 10, right? And I'm the 10th level of Master, and these games you can tune into, they're going to be super high level, and simply getting a solo kill or a double kill is going to be a big thing to watch. You want to come and tune in and watch me take 2v1s in Master +++ games? But that's not the way it is. If you spectate somebody that's playing, let's say, Masters 2v2, they can be truthfully woeful players, because the restriction and the way the matchmaking works is terrible. And that's all I can say. I can't be any more blunt or honest. I did a video when this ranking system was in beta, and I said all of these problems. Every single problem I've said, and probably more, I listed. It would become a problem eventually. This cannot work. Literally nothing was done. The ranking system was pushed out. It was launched. People got excited. I'm playing for Masters. I'm grinding. They quickly realized it means nothing. Not to mention the fact that when the season ends, you aren't truly reset back down to bronze to prove yourself. Because remember, in any other game, time affects how the game works. Metas change, units change, items change. So if you were Masters in Season 3, you'll reset back down to bronze, or at least a sort of clean slate, because you might not be good at this right now. Everything's changed, and we need to check you're still good at this. Gears of War doesn't really ever change, which is a problem in itself. Nothing ever gets switched up. The meta doesn't get switched up. Nothing changes. So when you have finished your ranking and you've got through this awful ranking system and you have reached Masters and the season's over and you've reached Masters, which, it's pointless, but you've reached it, it then resets you for, let's say, the next season. And if you win 2 games, you're basically back in Masters. And once you've arrived in Masters, that's it. You get the rewards. So if you only care about the rewards, you can never play again. And there's also been no grind. There's been nothing taught to you. You haven't learned anything new. You've just been handed back in Masters. So what can happen is a load of people fluke themselves into Masters by playing, let's say, stacking up and playing a load of low-level players. Then the season ends. They play a couple placement games. And within a few games again, they're back in Masters. The ladder has zero integrity. And I'm telling you this for a fact, I don't respect anybody's position on the ladder. Not myself's, not anybody's, because it's meaningless. And it might sound over the top, and when I say these things, I said this yesterday on Reddit, and I said to him, I don't want to be cruel. The guy came up and he said, listen, I've been grinding ranked for a few weeks now, and I've got into Masters. I'm so proud. And I said to him, I don't want to shit on you, mate. I really don't want to shit on you, but people really need to understand that this means nothing. I'm happy that you got it, and I'm happy you're happy, but the problem is, people are coming into this game and treating it with the same rules and ideas and theories that other games have, and they're trying to apply it to Gears 5. They're trying to say, well, if I'm Masters in Apex Legends, I'm a fantastic player. So if I'm Masters in Gears, I must be a fantastic player, because what else would that mean? Because that's what any sensible person would think. But the sad reality of the situation is, it means nothing. The ranking system is utterly terrible. The developers have not tweaked it, they've not touched it, they've not changed anything. And the only thing I can think during my time that has been changed to maybe help the ranking system was remove score per minute, which is ultimately one of the biggest indicators of how good you are. People can question that, but it's a fact. Gears of War score per minute, in a way, definitely is a much better indicator than other things. If I'm constantly dealing damage, if I constantly got points for spotting, capturing, stunning, all of these things right added up, then the person with the highest score per minute most often would have the highest impact, and then they would climb. In this system, you have these arbitrary rules applied, like once you've got, I don't even know the figure because I've stopped caring about it. Once you've got, let's say 50 kills, no other kills matter. So then you may as well go ahead and work on either one, trying to win the game because that's the ultimate deciding factor, or two, oh, I've got all of my kills, now I'm going to mindlessly throw myself at the ring. Even if it's the wrong thing to do. Even if at that time what would be better is to kill a few stragglers, maybe go to the boomer, secure the boomer. No. What the game wants you to do is say, come and get this GP and throw yourself 10 times at the hill, and then you get the GP for the break. It is a trash system. I'm sorry to say it. I've done multiple videos on the ranking system. I've done hundreds of videos over the course of this franchise's lifespan. And I'm here with... I don't have 100,000 subs. I don't have 110,000 subs. I'm not a Latin American YouTuber that has 300,000 subs. I have a tiny audience. And I'm here willing to stick my neck out and say, this isn't good enough. Your franchise will not grow. It will never reach the heights that the game should have reached if your ranking system has no integrity, if the servers suck, if the matchmaking calibration sucks, if the rewards suck. All of these things I'm trying to say to help the game. What ends up happening, like my video that got 5,000 views, you want to know the outcome of that video? I lost 22 subscribers. So although that was my most viewed video, because I had to do a clickbait thumbnail, because I'm not a big YouTuber and I don't have the audience to speak out, and I have to sometimes resort to those tactics, the end result was a ton of positive comments, but actually net loss. So my channel gets hurt. So when I'm trying to help the franchise and devs come out and say, this guy's, you know, he's hateful, he's, or whatever, you know, they're maybe thinking in their head, I don't know what they're thinking, or this guy's clickbait, or I don't like his videos, I'm going to block him on Discord, or whatever, right? Or I'm just going to not respond to him. They're thinking like I'm trying to be a dick. I'm not. I'm trying to literally help. And I'm trying to help in the most clear and concise way I can say without getting heated and ranting. Now, if you want to go ahead, and if you think that makes me negative and you think that makes me awful and you unsubscribe, then I'll be honest, you deserve the game you're currently playing. That's the reality. If you just want to watch happy-go-lucky content, you want to go watch some skins, or you want to whatever, go. I don't know what you want really, but ultimately, it's frustrating for me as a content creator to come out and do these talks, because ultimately my passion has completely been ripped out and faded from TC's tenure at Gears, I'll be completely honest. So when I do a video, and again I stick my neck out on the line and I try to help, just to receive negativity is frustrating. And that's the way it is. The way it is people will come to the channel, they'll come to my channel and they'll be like, oh, this guy's speaking sense, nice video. They'll never return, and then they'll go back to watching happy-go-lucky content. They'll go back on Twitter talking about skins. They'll be excited about a certain skin release. They'll ask the devs, why can't they? Oh, Chrome Steel Kate isn't available to purchase, why not? And then they wonder why the franchise is the way it is. I'll say something horrible here, or brutal, but it's honestly the way I feel. I feel like the devs have finished with the game, it's on maintenance mode, and they know, now they probably won't ever admit it, maybe Microsoft or whoever, I feel like the company knows we have a, I'm not going to say deranged, but a borderline deranged community that hate the game so much, they're constantly bashing it, but yet they're constantly still playing, buying skins, retweeting stuff on Twitter about skins, and they know they can milk you till the dawn of time. They can produce mediocre shit tier content for the size of their studio and the size of Microsoft's budget, and this is a console seller. This is a console seller. And I'm meant to be excited that a young version of Marcus got released that was probably created a year ago, right? And they know, well, even if the matchmaking's trash, even if the ranking system isn't that, you know, great, we know that there are people that are a bit blind to it all. They will get excited that they've earned masters, they will buy some skins, and they will continue to keep playing this poor franchise, because right now it is a poor franchise, I'll be honest. They'll keep playing this poor franchise until Gears 6 comes out. And when Gears 6 comes out, they'll say to themselves, oh, Gears 5 is behind us. Let's go. Let's grind Gears 6. Let's start earning skins. Let's start unlocking. Let's start making content. And the same thing will happen again. This will be in the same position again, unless there's massive changes. TC Kilo has recently entered into the studio, and God bless him, he's trying his absolute best to remain as positive as possible. But ultimately, what is TC Kilo going to do? Somebody's going to report a bug to him. He's going to say he's going to try his very best because he's new to be as super positive, smiley, happy, as responsive as humanly possible. God bless him, he's trying. And people will say, this is great. This community manager is doing fantastic. Then ultimately, There'll be too many issues. There'll be too many problems. He'll get bogged down. Communication will slow down. And ultimately, it's not a community manager's job to fix the game or lead the direction of the game. It's not. That's up to like the lead multiplayer designer who we've not heard from. That's up to the studio and everyone else involved. That's not the community manager's job. So although it's nice that TC Kilo has been super active and he's trying his best, that doesn't sway my thinking. I'm not coming back to Gears 5 because there's a smiley, happy community manager that's telling us everything's going to be okay. I'll come back when I actually see some change, because I'm not putting the amount of effort I put in to Gears 6. That's my statement. That's not me saying you should have listened to me, I'm right, boo-hoo. No, I'm just saying, if you want people to play the game and continually play the game, the ranking system has to work. The servers have to work. And there has to be a little bit better actual content and balance. And that's the bare minimum for any game releasing today. We're asking the bare minimum from a AAA franchise that has been out as a console selling premium title for Microsoft since 2006. I'm not being harsh enough, if we're being honest. So those are my opinions on ranked. It's a diabolical situation where a group of players could theoretically stack up in Masters and beat Onyx players that beat Silver players that basically turned on their console. A 4-man mediocre stack can waltz their way in by beating effectively brand new players due to the chain that we've just spoke of. And that's the system I'm meant to put time in. I plugged a controller in and I didn't play that well, and I was Masters within a few days. I was then in Masters and I was winning most of my games, almost all of my games. And the games were no different quality than when I was in Silver or Bronze. It's ridiculous. So I don't have too much more to say on Gears 5. If you have a specific topic you want me to cover, you can post it in my Discord. If you visit it says all links. If you visit the links in the description, you can join the Discord from there. I'd love to see you in there. I'm gonna focus on making some content that I want to make, some PC stuff. I want to play a few other games that I haven't played, and maybe I'll discuss some, I don't know, maybe I'll discuss Gears if that's what people want. But I'm not just going to randomly be putting out videos, because yeah, we're done, unless the only reason we're not saying officially done is it can change. Will it change? 99% sure it won't. But I would come back if the ranking system was properly fixed and everything was fixed. They're big ifs. And if you want me to speak on a certain topic because you enjoy it, then you can post it in the Discord. But I do ask if I can be cheeky. If you really do enjoy the content and you want to hear me speak, because I'm not really, it's now beyond me. It's not a passion project like it was. I would appreciate if you want to subscribe on Twitch. If you want to join and be a member and then say, hey, I'm a member, I'd like to hear you speak on this topic. That's honestly going to sway me more than just hearing some comments like, hey, can you speak on this? Because I've spoke on this for a long ass time, out of my own hard work, out of my own free time. And I'll just be honest, like, there are massive channels that aren't speaking out. So I've done my part, and if you want to hear any more, like, think about supporting, because that's ultimately what's going to keep me going at this point, because the actual buzz of the game and the natural passion I had to make Gears content, which has carried me to this point, is pretty much gone. So if you do want to hear from me, I'd love to see some support, whether it be tons of comments and likes, whether it be, I don't know, tip a coffee or a membership on YouTube. I'm just being open and honest with you. That's what this channel is about. I'm not going to lie and pretend like, oh, I'm going to sit down and speak about Gears for another 150 hours for free. I don't have that in me anymore. So yeah, business model has changed, boys, shall we say. So hopefully this video was enjoyable. That's all I've really got to say on the matter. I hope you can see it from my point. Like, it's really, really demotivating. It's really, really demotivating to sign in and just see these comments that are like, oh, you're that negative guy. And what they don't understand, and I'm not being big-headed, because I don't think I'm doing this perfectly by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just chatting. But if there was more people like me and like others, because I know there are other channels out there doing the same thing, I don't want to paint the picture that I'm some lone wolf on a rampage to, I'm, you know, this and that. There are tons of other people trying to help the game. I've watched podcasts, I've seen people do like reviews, I've seen people do criticism, but ultimately the mindset of the general direction of the community, like your vocal Twitter people, your skin purchasers, and all of these people, those are the people that need to wake up a little bit and say, is this what I want to do? Do I want to play this mediocre game and chuck more money into it? Because I would say you don't. There are plenty of other experiences out there. There are plenty of other games out there that are just as fun in their own different way, that don't have all of the frustration tied to it that Gears does right now. I'm not saying it can't change. If Gears of War turned it around, there'd be nobody more happy than me. I absolutely love the game. I love playing it. It's just a shame the way it is right now. And I'm not deluded either. Because a few people get this really, really wrong, and I know this is at the end of the video, so probably nobody will hear it, but I want to say it. People often come to me and they're like, oh, so Gears 5 is awful. And I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that this basically borderline free-to-play game is the worst thing on earth. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the expectation, the place it could have been. Gears of War at one point was the game. It was the MLG game almost. It was getting there. It was incredible to watch. And here we are now where it's, oh, you still play that game? Is that game still going? That's that cover game, right? From 2006. Are you still playing that one? That's where it's at right now. You know, so when I say it's crap and it's awful, it's crap because of what it could be. If you just judge it on face value and you have no allegiance to the franchise, and again, it's like when I played Halo 4. I quite enjoyed Halo 4. I played it a couple weeks ago. It's on the membership channel, and I thought that was pretty fun. Now, some people might hate Halo, but because I'm not as invested into it, I took it at face value. Hey, here's a bit of a Halo campaign. Here's some cool monsters. That was pretty fun. And that's how most people treat Gears 5. Oh, there's that game. I remember that game, Gears. Yeah, I'll play that for £1. Hey, that campaign was okay. I spent a few nights shooting some bad guys online. Hey, that was all right. And that's it. Then they'll move on. I'm not judging it off that. I'm judging it off in my mind, which is unfair because your mind can play tricks on you. I'm judging it off what I think the game could be. Like, I have these images in my mind of like the trailer that could be produced to get Gears 5 on the map. Like, imagine you load up your browser and you see, or you're on Twitch or YouTube and you see an advert and it's like just this dark, murky, like swarm of locust that, like they say, like the old times, the lights are glowing, absolute doom level of gore, just blood everywhere, some guy just like absolutely severing a guy in half, like plowing through wave after wave of body. Then it cuts to some multiplayer footage of some absolutely insane high level shots. Camera pans in on top, so you're looking at like a top down monitor view. Everyone's playing, flashes into the game, boom boom boom, in some absolutely sick shots going on, sick movement. Then it cuts to like a campaign scene with like a fucking giant city of like, holy shit, this is the Locust. All of these things, like, and it ramps up in speed and speed and speed, and then it's like, boom, ladder system, boom, reward system, boom, grind this, boom, unlock this, bang, new game mode. By the way, fucking 24 player online, 6 hill, king of the hill, insane action, fucking there's a Brumac in the map, horde, like zombies mode. There's the swarm tearing down the building. You've got Marcus barricading it up. He's trying to protect himself. There's wave after wave. Dell's in the background or whatever, building turrets. He's engineering it up. and you're defending as huge structures and creatures and enemies come to tackle you in horde. He's drinking potions, he's drinking emulsion that he's found to get power-ups. And then it comes, boom, Gears 6 coming out 2022, 4K, 120 FPS, crossplay, input-based crossplay matchmaking, whatever you want to do, right? And you're like, holy shit, this looks like a fucking modern franchise. Like, it's got an incredible horde system, it's got a campaign, it looks dark, it looks gritty, it's got the multiplayer aspect, it's got esports, it's got ladders. You know, you've got like the Locust wearing fucking optic gear for esports, so you could just have like optic skins versus, I don't know, like whoever skins for this esports side of things, for the spectator, you know. And you've got all of these things going on, and you're like, wow, this looks good. But now, I don't see any of that. I see a completely flat game driven by people, if I'm being honest, because I can only judge from what I see. The work I see put out, I'm like, these guys don't get Gears. The people that are in there mustn't get Gears, or they must be. It's either one of two things. They don't get Gears of War, or they're been told to not do something. I'm hoping it's like they're been told to not do something, and then whatever's telling them to not do it fucks right off, if I'm being honest, and we actually get somewhere, because it's a sad way, the way the franchise has gone. Maybe I'm too invested. Goddamn, I'm too invested. You know, that's the problem. It's like when passion boils over. But when I see the Gears 5 trailer of some airy-fairy, lofty skiff going through the sand with some like pop song over the top, like, that's not Gears. And that, not importantly, franchises can change. I understand that, and that's cool. I get that. I'm fully on board with that. But if you're going to change it to a higher level. That wasn't a higher level. That was a sideward step into a different direction of shit. That's what that was, if I'm being honest. It wasn't a step up onto a ladder of gold. It was a sideways direction of a step into some shit. And boy, did it fucking stink. I'm saying there are people out there that have visions. There are people out there that have the technical know-how. And from what I'm seeing, it's not going that way. I'm telling you guys, it's not going that way. That's the end of the video. That's the end of the video.